This is the Kpopcast, and we are bringing you the best scenes and ideas in K-pop, and today we're bringing you our fresh, hot the press review of Bibi's Eve concert tour from Oakland. We're joined by a special guest, Virginia, who was at the show with us. Welcome, Virginia.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me again.
Yay, always a pleasure. But before we get into those topics, don't forget to join the Kpopcast listener fam on Slack and help chip in for the show's costs. Links to those in the episode description.
And now for the deep dive.
Yeah! All right. So we are recording here because the three of us, me, Stephanie, Peter, Virginia, we all had the pleasure of attending Bibi's first U.S. concert tour in Oakland. It was her first time here in the Bay Area. And when we saw the announcement, I think we were all pretty excited.
Yeah.
We got our tickets and yeah, we're big Bibi fans here at the Kpopcast. So it was a no-brainer to go.
I would say she's still probably my number one. Sorry, Jen Soyeon. But
Jen
like
Soyeon.
she's probably my number one K-pop act, I think. Honestly,
yeah. And what makes you come to that decision, rank number one?
I just like her style,
Mm-hmm.
her sound,
Mm-hmm.
her unique voice, the concepts.
So for those of you who do not know, Bibi, short for Naked Bibi.
Oh,
She's a singer, rapper, songwriter, actress. She first appeared on the scene in about 2018 on SBS program The Fan and was a runner-up for that show. She released her first full-length studio album in 2022. And I really agree with what Peter was hinting at just now, that Bibi's style is something unique. It's something we don't usually see on the K-pop scene. And actually, she identifies not as an idol. Like, she didn't come through the big label trainee machine. She came from the outside, and she's been firmly in that R&B hip hop lane where she can speak more freely. She can be more, she can be more expressive about things like her sexuality. And she can curse, and she can interact with fans in a certain way. And so I think she really appeals, especially to fans in the West, because of the boldness of her style. One of her earliest releases is a song called Cigarette and Condom. I'm talking about, this is what I carry around in my pocket. And I remember when it came out, I was like, what? Are you serious? In Korea? You're talking about this? Let's go. Come on.
Yeah.
So,
and she was discovered on SoundCloud by Yoon Mi-rae. So, that is just a different way of like being talent scouted versus the traditional K-pop industrial idol complex.
Yes, exactly. Yoon Mi-rae, queen of Korean hip hop.
yes.
Married to Tiger JK, king of Korean hip hop. So to be chosen and discovered and dubbed by them is just a testament to her talent as well.
She's on their label too, right?
Yeah, feel good music. Exactly. So we've been fans, I think all of us, since she came out. I was really impressed by her second EP, Life is a Bee. Yeah, where she kind of took a darker direction with her lyrics, talking about things like abuse or depression, mental health, and just showing different sides, a level of depth that we also don't really get in a lot of K-pop. So
Unless if it's K-pop Demon Hunters.
Yeah, which
true.
Virginia and I can talk about it at length because we just love that movie. I keep talking about it, and my wife was like, "Why are you so obsessed, like a teenager girl?" But I would add that Be New. So that was her debut song, and
that's right.
That presented a more cute, more innocent appeal, and which is often the go to market strategy for female idols and groups.
I thought it
So
was
in that way, I
both.
think she was perhaps still a bit feeling the launched in a way that was
Familiar.
following the pressures of the K-pop.
I would push back on that a little.
Yeah.
I remember Be New being kind of a tongue-in-cheek cute release. The sound
there
of
you
it
go.
is very cute, but the lyrics and the way she's looking at the camera in the music video, it's like she's
It's
talking
more
about being naked
sensual
and
yeah.
there's like innuendo in the video that kind of hints at, all right, this is what you're gonna get with Bibi.
Okay. See, that went over my head when I saw it the first time. So,
But yeah, the sound and we saw, we're gonna definitely talk about this when we get into the concert. Her sound can veer into very cute baby like. She talks like a baby sometimes. Binu, binu, bibi. Yeah. But she can also like chop your head off. She can also twerk. She can also she's got range,
Yes.
people. And also, we got a taste of her acting ability in the concert. And I see here that she won in 2024 Best New Actress for a film in the Baeksang Arts Awards.
Oh.
So she's coming up as an actress as well, which I'm not surprised.
Mm-mm. Yeah. I mean, you can
right.
just tell it from her like music videos.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Shall we get into the concert?
Yes. Yeah. So Peter, you were going to say.
Yeah, like, okay, like big picture. You guys J-Buck or not on the concert?
Oh, Debak.
Leaning not.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What about you, Peter?
Yeah, I'm also leaning not. But
We never do Daybak or not at the start. This is new.
Well, I don't know. Just I think just we ground the conversation. But like, yeah. Why?
Yeah, I'm so fascinated. Why? Is it because you were expecting something like a Twice concert or like a K-pop concert, or like was it that you had certain expectations and they weren't met, or is it because like the way it was run was poor, or was it the quality of the stuff, or was it the content, or is it the flow, the show flow? Yeah, I'm very curious.
Yeah. Well, I hate to start out with hating.
Oh, I mean, I can start off
You
talking
know.
about what I liked.
Yeah. We could start. Yeah. So I think, yeah, Peter, you're right to like ground the discussion, ground the conversation in, overall feelings on it. And then let's get into how we experienced it. Right. Would love to hear from Virginia. Kick us off.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like it was for the size of the stage. I think she was really good. I don't necessarily know she needed everything that she had, but I really enjoyed it. I thought like the VCRs were very interesting. I thought I think her personality is very, very dynamic and very charismatic, and I thought she did a really, really, really good job of like interacting with her crowd.
Yeah.
Which I don't think if you were at a bigger concert you can really get. I think Jin's concert is trying to do that, but but in general it's very difficult, right? Like, and yeah, I think she. I just really enjoyed it. I think she's just fun.
I liked that part too. She seems like a really fun person. I like thought that right away. She was joking with the fans. She was bringing people up on stage. She was running around in the crowd.
Yeah. Can you imagine?
She was comfortable.
Yeah.
She was comfortable, like socially interacting with the audience and the fans. And that's right. We don't see that in a lot of shows, K-pop or otherwise.
Yeah. And I feel like it was kind of meta. Right? Like she's talking about the machinery behind the concert in the concert. Like, hey, it's time for me to change now. Or like, oh, were you impressed by how quick that was? But clearly she just like took off the top of her dress, right? Like, and she has a dress underneath it or whatever. Yeah. So I think in terms of just like I feel like concerts can either go like they either wow you with their performance, and you're just like overwhelmed with the spectacle of it, or it's a way for the artist to connect with people. Obviously, it can't be the same as a fan meet, but like you want some sort of like you didn't need to stay. If you stayed home, you would have missed out on this, right? Like you didn't need to just watch a parade of all her MVs. Like you could have done that, and your musical quality might have been better, but like you miss out on the like.
The personality, the depth, the parasocial relationship. Look, I think, yes, I was very much looking forward to seeing Bibi's personality, you know, and getting more of that raw, unfiltered thing in like an English-speaking environment, in my hometown, right, in the Bay Area. But I was starting to feel a little one note in the character that she was giving us. It's funny. I want to like caveat all of this by saying that she's still my number one, and like, you know, I am still like, I live for the studio sound and the like music video produced characters, and even the personality that I continue to see on and off camera around in the scene, but within the concert itself, it felt like she was just like, let me be aegyo sexy, you know, kind of throughout. And it felt to me after a while like she was just playing a character, and like she only had like one type of joke, you know, throughout. And that's where it started to feel overly scripted at times and unprepared.
Oh, really?
Ooh.
Like as just a flow from a production.
The flow.
Right? Like, you know, for example, I enjoyed the raw candor of Bibi saying, yeah, you guys like that video? Yeah, I spent most of the budget toward it. It doesn't really make any sense. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Here's what I was trying to say with it. Like, I was taking notes. I'm like, oh, this is probably like a symbol on this, and you know, it says this bigger thing about the industry, and it's trying to say something more profound. And then she comes out and says like, well, actually, it's just about how, you know, it's okay to be you, and I still love you. You never asked to be born. You never asked to get a job, be a, you know, good person, all these different things, be a good mom, be a good dad, etc. You always have a give. You always feel like you have this expectation of giving in life. And you know, I think it builds upon the theme of her. What was the name of her album?
Life is a Bitch.
Yeah, Life is a Bitch, right? So like, you know, it's like you feel like you owe so much, and that's all she was trying to. But it's okay, and she loves you, and that was the message, right? That was the one-liner thing. That's all that she was trying to say in this highly produced music video, and that was like half of. That led up to like half of the concert, and then the rest of the half was like, okay, well, let's just kind of like run through everything else. Let me have all these like interactive portions to try to cue up the next song, but maybe they're a bit belabored in the freeform discussion to cue up the next song by talking about a question about like
who has an interesting
travel.
job.
Yeah, interesting job, etc. To talk about FedEx and
to lead up to FedEx Girl.
Right,
that part took a long. Okay, so hearing Virginia and Peter talk, I want to like hone in on this part about the flow of the show. I feel like the essential building blocks are there. Her personality is awesome. Her singing, even though she was sick, like she was hitting those notes. She has a lovely voice. And she's a captivating dancer and mover, an actress as well. So just like watching her move, watching her on the stage, and like how sexy, how beautiful she is. Oh my gosh. But the flow, and I'm not sure how much control she had over it. It just felt like the flow, the pacing, the timing of things was not chosen in such a way to build up tension or to hold my hand through an exciting, entertaining journey. Like I felt let down.
Yeah.
At certain points when certain things dragged. Like I thought the movie was too long, and like that crowd interaction portion about the job was too long. And I thought that the portion in the beginning of like a lot of her softer, jazzy,
Sensual.
cute songs, that was also a choice. It felt like, okay, she's getting through certain songs while folks are walking in the door, versus like, here is the entrance, I am here. And maybe to your point, Virginia, I do appreciate a little more spectacle, a little more like,
Yeah, I think
ooh,
they
yeah,
tried
wow,
for what
I'm
they-
excited to see the start. Whoa, this star is here. Yeah, I didn't quite get that, but I do appreciate a low key like I feel like, okay, I'm talking myself towards my point. I can appreciate a low key, personable, acoustic performance, but then really kill it on the singing, on instruments, on like really tug at me with the music and with the notes, and like do something different with the songs versus what was in the studio.
I think she did make that effort, though.
Yeah,
I think that was her intention.
What
right?
was that remix that she
the
did?
Sugar Rush.
Yeah.
right?
There was a
That
Sugar
was like
Rush
an EDM
remix.
I
of
did
it.
enjoy that a lot.
I did not.
Oh, you didn't?
And that, I think maybe Virginia, maybe what it is. Stephanie and I were up on the third balcony,
Oh,
and where were you? You were
I
down
was in
on.
the first balcony. Second balcony? Whatever.
We were in the same section.
Oh, okay.
Virginia was a few rows down from
Okay.
us. Yeah.
I was gonna say maybe the acoustics just hit different depending on where we were at this venue,
Oh.
but it felt empty for the most
did
part.
it?
Like in terms of just in terms of the acoustics, like there was like a distinct lack of the warmth of like the mid range harmony that I was getting in the venue. Like I could definitely, what Stephanie, you and I were saying to each other. It sounds like there's a live band, even if we can't see them on stage.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure they had a live band, so that I liked. But it was
I would have
just
loved
like,
to see them.
yeah, I would have liked to see them too. Would have added
What's
to
that
the
about? Yeah.
performative dynamic as well. And yes, Stephanie, it was clear to me that they had invested in trying to create like more of a deliberate. Let's frame Bibi in her like genuine, authentic self, and in these like softer songs, and as well as try to like make it more in the club for like the EDM remix, but it didn't go enough all the way, especially for the like the EDM festival experience for like doing a remix of Sugar Rush, because it just felt like very sonically, acoustically empty. Just you hear the percussion and it's like, sorry, like if
It's
you look at
flat.
like a frequency range,
Okay.
and like if someone was like EQing it, like they had it just a little too high in the low, and then like after between like 200 and like 800 hertz, it felt like a drop, and then you heard Bibi's voice, and Bibi's voice was very clear. So I heard the kick drum and I heard Bibi's voice very well, but everything else was like really dropped out, and it was just not a smooth mix for a lot of her songs. But it was certainly epitomized in the EDM remix of Sugar Rush. The other thing I'll say in terms of flow, I think the chapters made sense and how they were bundled, right? It was like, okay, let's have like sensual moment or more Eggio, mid-century modern throwbacks vibe. And then like super sensual moment, which is probably her longest chapter. And then more R&B, gangster.
Well, she got into her old songs
Yeah,
for the
and
last
then-
one. And I was like, yeah, that's what I've been waiting for.
Yeah. And then like the closer stuff with like what was it, her new
Bumpa.
song? Yeah, Bumpa.
Bumpa was fun.
Yeah, that was a really good choice. And then other
You're rubbing
heartfelt-
your microphone, Peter.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but anyways, you had other heartfelt songs, and the groupings made sense. And I don't think the VCR, is that what you call it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess the video, the movie kind of thing. Yeah.
Okay. I think that was the attempt to try to provide the connective tissue between those chapters, but for it to fall midway through the performance, and for Bibi to be who she is, to her credit, but to go off script, so to speak, it just felt overly long and belabored. And I think that again, she's trying to show you her real self, but you could just tell every stop in the tour she was asking, are there any minors here? And then feigning surprise when there are, minors.
How could they be here?
That's so interesting, because I think I accept a certain amount of artifice and script from every act. I don't care how authentic you are.
Right.
Like that. It's like, maybe it's because I've been watching so many podcasts from stand-up comedians. And the trick of a good set is to make it seem like you're doing it for the first time and working it out with your audience.
And just being you. Yeah.
But in actuality, to have that, you need to know it fucking cold.
Right.
Like you need, and so that, I think, so I accept that. I accept the fact that every beat, and actually this is what I really enjoy about K-pop concerts or Korean concerts in general. I very much enjoy the fact that every single beat is the same. That if I watched a Chicago one to New York one, maybe they'll change the city name, and maybe obviously crowd work will be different, right? But depending on the crowd. But I do appreciate how it is the same, and I like that. In fact, when I used to go to concerts, I used to hate it when the artists would remix things. I was like, no, I wanted to hear what I liked.
Yeah.
And now you've changed it. So unless they could elevate it, in terms of BTS, they had live bands for Wings, rearranging it in a particular way, and you're like, do that. Yes. But I like the predictability of that. I really enjoyed the fact that, yes, I know Bibi is going to because you've seen clips on TikTok or Instagram already prior to the concert. I like the fact that she's going to be cheeky with the audience and tease about minors, and that's acceptable to me. It's okay. This is her act for this tour, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but it felt clumsy in execution, right?
Really?
Like you say, yeah, to me it did. Like you say with comedians,
like she
you
forgot
need to
her
know it
lines
cold,
sometimes.
right?
Oh, okay. I see. I
And
accept
then
that.
it was just. It was either the spectrum of let me be genuine to who I am and just go off script and go at my own pace and say what I'm thinking, versus following the flow and the joke of the pre-scripted, architecture. And it seemed like it just kind of floundered in the middle, not knowing,
You should pick one. Are you being the stand-up comic right now, or are you really flowing?
Yeah, and I feel like that just comes with experience, right?
Yeah,
Right.
It's her first U.S. tour.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's her first all English, having to hold the space, and I don't know.
Yeah, and look, I want to give
she
her
was
some
sick. She was
credit.
sick.
Yeah, she was sick. And also she's only 26, 27?
27.
Yeah, she's pretty young. I mean,
And-
granted, I got married at 28, so I have a different perspective on age, but for this generation,
Yeah, but and I thought it was funny.
She made the joke that she's like, oh, I'm gonna retire soon.
Exactly.
I'm 27.
Yeah.
That was cute.
Because that's an industry, right? And
That's a
then she
K-pop
had,
inside
the whole
joke.
meta thing about oh yeah, my sister debuted and in her group the kids.
Someone was born in
2010.
10, which is
yeah,
astonishing to me.
that was cool.
And I thought it was so wholesome when the dad came up, and then
Oh my
she
gosh.
swapped out the dad with the daughter, and you can't script that. That was.
Yeah, that was
I'm
great.
sure she was going to go a certain way about it, and then when
No,
she
rolled
found
with
out,
it. Yeah.
and it was so wholesome.
I appreciated that part a lot.
yeah.
She brought a fan. So For those of you who haven't seen the concert tour clips or heard about it, Bibi brings a fan up on stage for one of her sexiest songs. I want to teach you how to be the best lover for me. And so she sits the fan down. She takes the fan's hand and puts it on her body and moves in a sultry way, close, like not quite lap dance, but getting there, lap dance adjacent. And so this time she brings on, so she's learned through the tour the hard way that she needs to ask someone's age before engaging in that type of interaction. And so she, I think, tried to bring someone who's obviously not a minor. She brought an older gentleman up.
And she still asked, "Are you a minor? I have to ask."
I have to ask.
Yeah.
And he was like, "What?"
Yeah, and I refuse to believe this man was 49. That man is like 2 years older than I'm turning this year. I refuse to believe it.
Yeah, he looked a bit older. Yeah. But it was so sweet that, I mean, her interaction with him was very like polite and genuine and sweet. And she asked, how did you hear about me anyway? And he said, "Oh, my daughter." And she said, "Okay." Yeah. So I think on the fly there, she made the call of like, maybe your daughter would like to be up here a little more, and offered that switch to him. And he said, "Oh yeah, sure. Bring her up."
Yeah.
Which so they brought the daughter up. So sweet. She said, "How old are you?" He said, "I'm 14. Oh, the crowd goes wild. Like, oh my gosh, this is what you feared. You have a young minor up on stage for this sexy dance. But Bibi just like took it in stride, maybe had a plan already of what to do, and said, "You know what? Love can mean friendship too."
Right. Yeah.
And so I'm going to make this into a friendship themed song for us. And
it was so wholesome. She kissed her on the forehead.
Oh my gosh. She gave her a hug, forehead kiss, held her hand. So
I like
sweet.
how she screamed at one point, and then everyone, I saw someone posting after the concert, like, yeah, that's a natural reaction to have, to Bibi.
Yeah.
Oh, totally.
She
totally let out a scream.
She was so cute. And I felt like it was a very wholesome interaction. I do see your guys' point about like flow, but I mean, I've seen a bunch of K-pop concerts, and I don't think that her flow was any worse than some of the really belabored concerts. I'm just like,
but I would say the same thing about those, right? Like,
that's true. That's true.
The industry as a
where's
whole
the
needs
bar?
to get better. Yeah. So like, look, Bibi, she doesn't have a lot of like professional runway to go off of in terms of live concerts and performances, especially for like non-Korean
international
audience. Yeah, for international
She
audiences.
did really well considering that.
Yeah.
First world tour.
I do agree in the sense of that, like, there were a lot of missed opportunities.
Oh yeah.
In terms of like
so much potential,
a more coherent through line. I was actually very confused when she stopped with the Eve portion of the concert, like the abruptness of it. To Peter's point about like, hey, I thought it was something like deep about how like K-pop and the industry recycles the same person or archetype over and over again, but this time it's literally the same person versus and how it they think that they have agency, but actually in every lifetime she has said the same things and has done the same things, right? Like that was very powerful. And so yes, her kind of facile interpretation of what she meant to do kind of just negated the whole type of thing. It's sort of like this whole commentary is actually pretty ballsy, but then her explanation of it's just love yourself and I love you is kind of like a cop out. So I totally agree with you on that part. But then I also wonder like how much of that is that she does not have the language facility to discuss that in English.
Yeah, I think there is a bit of that. Yeah, I think that was something I was kind of feeling as like a friction throughout the show, and I don't know if it made sense to have a translator, if that would help at all. But yeah, like especially if you're someone who's built their career by showing more of your genuine, authentic self and going off script, so to speak.
Or like
then that friction is especially pronounced.
I will say I was disappointed she didn't. I think I was surprised that she didn't lean more into her Vengeance Animal Farm vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
love
that in that sense, yes, I was disappointed, but I feel like I got that through the VCR, like
Yeah, a little
through
bit.
but yeah, again, in terms of show flow, like it was very kind of jarring to have it end 3/4 of the way through versus just like it should. If it's the connective tissue, it should be connecting the whole thing. And if it was only to connect the first like 3/4 and then the second quarter, second quarter, Jesus, math. The last quarter is just her BB stuff, then there should have been a different arc of VCRs, but maybe she ran out of money. But either way, like,
I think she did run out of money.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I think in that sense, then it was very jarring. Like, oh, we'll just throw out the first section, and now we're gonna go this. So that I didn't. Now that we are thinking a lot more critically about it,
Sure,
but I still say I thought it was debak because
Yeah.
it was. I think, her vocals were really good. I don't enjoy all her cutesy songs, but
yeah.
it was. I don't quite feel like the dancers were actually necessary.
Oh, I like the dancers.
Oh,
Really?
yeah.
Yeah.
I sometimes,
That almost saved it for me.
Oh, really? I felt like the dancers were pretty either underutilized or used in a weird way to me, especially at the beginning. I
Yeah.
was just like, why are they there? They feel like very awkward.
To me, it would have felt even more college culture show production if it didn't have dancers. Like, it would have felt even more underproduced, and Bibi having to fill more for the awkward transitions and, and filling the stage. So having the dancers was a humongous benefit
thought so
for me.
too.
Yeah.
I did y'all notice at the end that she was introducing the dancers, it seemed like she didn't know some of their
She didn't know some
Yeah,
of their
she's like,
names.
what is your name?
What's your name? Oops.
I don't
And
know
I
if that was
wasn't-
just an act. And
Yeah, I
if
thought it was an
just,
act,
Really?
Yeah.
but then I
okay.
wasn't sure.
I don't know. Why would you do that?
I think
Wow.
maybe the dancer didn't want to share his name, but
It's like, this is your big break, man. I don't know. Yeah, that's true. We never know what's going on in the team, behind the scenes.
Did you say college culture night?
Ouch.
you guys know what I'm
Which
talking about.
Peter and
so,
I have
I'm
experience
dying.
with.
like,
Peter,
go
you
to
came
these, like,
you came to
college
my Stanford
shows.
Korean culture show.
Oh, I wasn't making a comment on yours, but like so many of them are like, look, like the Filipino culture night. That was always the one that, like, at least at Santa Clara University for me as a college kid, like that was like,
Of
oh,
course.
that's how you do it, right? That's the bar, and then like everyone
Yeah.
flounders beneath it. At least at my university, like, it's always like so awkward. It's like, why do we have so many set changes? Why do we even have a story? What are we trying to do with this? Like, it was just always awkward. Like, okay, let me run out on stage, say a few words, then run off. Let's close. Let's have this like transition music, and then people move the set, and then it's like that could have been cut or like that. I don't know, but like it was that entire like amateur production that I was really starting to feel with parts of Bibi during all these like sing and song transitions and costume changes.
Yeah. I see that.
All the costume changes were not necessary. We could have done like 3 tops. That would have been fine.
Yes, that I also.
Although
figured.
she looked hot and everything for sure.
Yeah.
But some were not necessary. Some changes were quite minor.
I was like, did they literally just take off her sweatshirt?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
We could have used that time for more
I wonder if they
performance.
played the Hawaii 5-0 theme because it was like an under 5 minute. 5 minutes would have been long. I don't know. She can we just talk really quick about like how hot and sexy Bibi is?
Absolutely.
Yeah, why not?
Oh my
She is hot.
God.
A common like note I kept making to myself was like, damn, she is giving us her like best years of her life right now. Like, in terms of like her like her S curve, like she knows how to like work her body.
How to work
and
it.
That to me also, by the way, speaks to like professional experience, like knowing how you visually appear, and then without a mirror, like adjusting yourself for like sensuality. So, like I thought she knew that, and for her to feel retire at 20, like this pressure to be like basically retire at 27 is kind of nuts.
It's like, come on, you're
But
just getting
I
started.
don't say that's not accurate. I'm sure it's very accurate to the industry, but I think it's just crazy because I see her as this young, sweet summer child still, you know,
Right? Yeah.
and yet like she is like, you know, what is it, like Sunbay elder for her industry, having her first songs come out in
2018 something.
Yeah.
yeah, well
2018.
2017 if you count playback in
Yeah.
in Good Family, but yeah, crazy.
I'm just having this horrifying realization that I'm 20 years older than her. Excuse me while I go off in a corner and like weep.
Wow.
Like I said, I got married at like
you were up on stage.
that
Next
is
to her,
such a lie.
nobody could tell. It's
they'll
true.
be like, "This, why is this old woman who's with the ass as flat
Like
as a wall,
twinsies.
and then like incapable of
No, you
movement?"
belong up there.
No, but like it's she felt young.
Yeah.
Like she felt very
She
young.
gave young. She gave off.
And also like so much of her discography are like super sensual songs, right? And are you gonna still be doing that when you're 50?
Yes.
Or 60? Okay, good.
I mean,
Good.
people
like, more
fuck
power
at
to
that
you,
age.
right?
Otherwise, why are all the senior living homes like their main problem is like telling people
STDs.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
use
Like, stop-
condoms.
Yeah. Right.
I know. I'm so down for grown and sexy vibe.
Yeah. Okay.
Continuing for Bibi.
Same.
Yeah.
Me too. But I think the theatrical and physicality of performing that gets harder.
I mean, her knees are gonna go. So like,
Yeah. Yeah. So for her to do that at this time of her life felt right. But in terms of the chapters and the arc of this show, I felt like, oh wow, we were in sensual sexy for just a little bit too long. Of it. But
I don't really. It's so funny that you say that she's so sexy and sensual because I did not really get that vibe. like, and I don't know whether it's just because I'm straight, but I feel like I can appreciate a very sexy vibe from women. Like I have eyes, so I feel like it wasn't like it could have been way sexier.
Doing it for you.
Right. Like I felt like it could have been like
I
so
hear you.
much sexier. I feel like it was just like, this is just a woman and she's dancing, and there's times when she's like doing a low down sexy move, but for the most part I felt like it was pretty like PG. I don't feel like anything was particularly maybe if I understood the Korean lyrics then I'd be like,
I
oh
hear
well,
what you're
actually
saying.
but like I don't feel like it's not even like culture show sexy. I feel like it
Yeah,
was pretty like appropriate for my child could have watched it and I would have been fine.
Yeah, I think what both of you are saying is correct. Like Peter bringing up that like Bibi's physicality, Bibi's like body, and just like the building block of that, the foundation, like just her it's almost enough just as it is for her to show up with like how she's practiced and how she looks and how those clothes were fitting and like just this X factor she has, this captivating presence. But then also to Virginia's point, I don't remember a certain part of the choreography or the performance that made me go, wow. It was all in this kind of medium safe box range of movement where she's going through movements. Nothing is capturing me. I'm like, wow, that's like, okay. I mean, not like, wow. Like I never got out of my seat. I never like gasped at anything.
Like Hwasa,
sure. Yeah.
right?
yeah, but these are different styles of sex appeal, y'all. Like I think what we're getting with Bibi is a very catty, flirtatious, let me seduce you in a non-overt way, and to me that it was just dripping with that sensuality, and like come on, y'all. Like she was on a bed at one point, and like like
that was maybe the hottest part, the burn it performance.
Maybe I am just dead inside. Like I was like, yeah, she's on a bed. That's cool. That's a good prop. That's cool.
Yeah.
but just everything, right? You know, like I can go through her entire playlist, and like, you know, there's something in the lyrics, there's something in her performative style and performing those lyrics, and the way the clothes fit on her body, and the way she struts with her butt. You know, like it's all sexually sensual, right? Like knowingly, intentionally, right?
Yes.
And so that,
and you know it's intentional because you saw the first third of the show. She was dressed in her college school sweater and like being
which
very
was
cutesy.
still also a certain type of sexy, but I'll
yeah,
stop
that's
there.
also sexy as well. Yeah.
Well,
Speaking of missed opportunities,
Oh,
Hongdae, R&B.
Hongdae. Oh yeah.
oh my gosh.
So
Why
she
was
was
there
talking
not?
about
discussion in general?
everything, you know, about the song, how she composed it, and then you know, the vibes that she was going for with the song, and then she puts on a leather jacket, and then someone shouts, what did they shout?
I'm very
Open-minded.
open-minded.
Yeah, are you open-minded? And then she's like, huh?
Oh,
She's like, she doesn't get it.
Yeah.
Like,
Come on, you haven't seen
everyone is
that?
trying to complete the joke for her.
Everyone here. Yeah. That was a miss. I'm glad that she didn't play up the Sean Solo inside joke, which is not
But
an
maybe she
inside joke
doesn't-
anymore.
Maybe she doesn't
I
have
don't know.
that. Like maybe it's not on her algorithm.
I don't think it is.
Like,
She didn't
Maybe
know
it's only
Usher
for,
Nice
like-
and Slow either.
well, to be fair, the
I
singing
mean,
was
come
not
on.
great. I mean, okay.
But that line is iconic.
Yeah.
I would think, but maybe I'm just assuming. I would think that somebody who's a fan of R&B at all would have heard someone, at least as a joke, sing that line.
About Hongdae Boys.
I was a little surprised.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
The
So
Usher
to be fair, I recognize the line, but I couldn't tell you the song.
Yeah, no, that's okay. Yeah.
You know?
It's like she had not, she was like, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
She didn't like laugh or like, ha ha ha. Yeah.
Yeah. Like for someone
Oh, wow.
who has built so much of their like brand and identity about being implying sex, you know,
True.
and like fast hookups, like surely, you know, you would get a meme about sex and fast hookups in Hongdae. So like I don't know. It just like if there was anyone to get it, it should have been her.
It should have been her.
Yeah. And she was even wearing the leather jacket, you know,
Come on.
during
Come
the song
on.
about Hongdae. Like
How
she,
did no one
she
in the
needs to
team
complete the
tell
meme.
you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Put your phone in my iPhone 16 Pro Max.
iPhone
Like,
16 Pro Max. You have to
There
like
you go.
shake your head, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Tu
The
lis
barking. The barking at the concert. Every
Oh,
time
yeah.
people were barking, I looked at Peter and he was like shaking his head.
There wasn't
because-
even that much of it, though, I feel.
Well, I heard it. And
There was
maybe
some
you
contingent
just
of people-
become culture to it. Virginia having gone to like more K-pop concerts than us, but like
I guess.
like it the first few times I was like, oh, this is uncomfortably gendered. Like,
Oh,
you know,
it was men barking.
Yes.
yeah, because it
think
was
so.
like she does something super sexy, sensual, and then you have all these men going ooh after. I'm like,
Yeah,
that
that's true.
is uncomfortable. Are you
Yeah.
guys not at all self-aware about what you are
No.
doing and
Okay,
what
yeah, I
you are
get that.
saying by making that chant?
Oh.
And it really bothered me. And then, you know, there was this group of girls sitting right in front of me, and I could see them hooting. I'm
They're
like,
doing it.
you know, and these were girls who were like bopping innocently along to like every song, you know, in her discography. And I think it goes back to a lot of like K-pop fans not knowing how to engage, and like this bark is a way that it provides them the vocabulary to support
Sure.
an idol, not knowing what the bark itself, you know.
How do they
can
not know
mean.
what the bark itself means? Come on, like it's a.
Have you met K-pop fans, Virginia? Like, I mean, I don't know. Sometimes
I
I'm
guess
lot of
people,
K-pop
if you're
fans
really
wanna
young,
do
that's
it
true.
right.
Though that's true. That's true. It's also, I think, the generation, because like my children didn't know what like the the dollar bill,
Make it rain.
like make it rain movement. I was
really?
Because they
Oh,
just
that's
see
so
it,
cute.
right? And they think it's funny. And I'm like, do you know what this
Yeah.
means? Do you know what this is from? This
Ooh.
was like 5 or 6 years ago. And they're like, no, what does it
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
I
yeah.
was like, well, let me
Huh.
explain to you sex work.
Yeah.
And they're like, what?
Yeah.
The oldest one's like 7.
There's
What do
all
you
these
think?
gestures and phrases that are devoid of the context just floating
Right?
around out there.
Yeah.
But they need it because they need modes and ways of participation, right? But they just don't know.
Oh, and she
So-
doesn't have a light stick, does she? Did she?
Yeah, she did. That's what
Oh, she
everyone
did?
She
had
did.
lights.
Some people had 'em.
Oh.
Mhm.
Okay, okay.
Well, they were also selling them, but I could see, the scattering. Like I want to say it was like every 10 people there was a light stick. It was for like a ratio in the concert. But
Yeah.
yeah, I did not like the barking, just given that dynamic, and
Right.
even with fans later on, and me trying to get a little bit more comfortable and seeing like all these like female girls also barking after, like even into like the encore stuff. I was like, okay, I know they do not know what they do, but it still felt I was offended.
I love this. I love how Peter's always like on our like fighting for our honor.
Any final point?
It was very rare that I could tell she was sick. I mean, obviously when she's talking, you can tell she's a little bit congested, but like her singing, like yes, there were times where she was like just a little bit under, but for the most part, like maybe I just have like maybe I just have like really shitty standards for like non-Korean like singers.
She's saying live.
Yeah, she's saying
That's
live.
hitting a certain bar. Yeah.
I'm
Oh
sorry
yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
for the beeping. But yeah, like I thought I was satisfied mostly with her singing. And I think she did a good job.
Yeah, yeah. For being sick, and you know that's like there's stuff going on in your throat. You don't have as much breath to draw on. You are tired.
Yeah. That was all
so
really clear to me.
Given
Yeah.
all of that, she killed it. Yeah.
Well, look, I the performance as a product overall, I feel like Oakland got an inferior show because of that. To me, it was just like it was just clear throughout. Like I was like, oh, she is tired here, or like, oh, she is really straining to.
Or her
hit
like
these
brain is
notes.
moving a little slower.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all those things. But like, yes, like this is where I am an enabler of the abuse of K-pop industrial complex by saying like, hey, she fighting, she persevered through it.
Ooh, yeah. That's a
And
tough place to
she
be.
even though she really needed a break, she did give it her all in spite of the circumstances, and I think that's what it is to be a performer. The
essence
show
of
must go on,
K-pop.
right? But a few things I wanted to call out. Yorobun.
Oh my God, yes.
So if you don't, K-pop fans, I don't know, are you a K-pop fan if you don't know this reference? But Taeyong, way back when,
Big Bang.
at a international Big Bang tour, started riffing because there's this like backing track music, and he just started going off and started singing.
It's like speaking to the audience, serenading.
like everyone.
Yep.
Do we have any international fans in the audience tonight? And making it like this.
I
I'm not
missed
gonna
you
sing
so
it.
much. Namabogoshi pasa.
Yeah, there you go. So at one point when asking for people's jobs, she asks one of the guys in the VIP, like, hey, what's your job? And he's like, oh, it's just laid off. But I am also a singer-songwriter. And she's like, oh, can you sing? And then she like hands him the mic. And the first thing he says is, Yorobun.
Oh,
I didn't.
that
know
was one of the highlights. The crowd
then-
went wild.
He starts singing it. And then now, Bibi didn't get Hongdae Guy, but she did get Yorobun.
She got this one.
and then she did start singing along to this in the style of Taeyong, and she did it. And she was like, no, it's not like that. It's like this. And then she takes the mic
And she
back
took the
and-
mic back.
And yeah, so she completed it. That was a special
great.
moment. I loved that. I was
Yes.
so happy that she could give us that. I wish she sang that song a little bit more. That would have been a really fun cover. Let's see. Yeah, like her song Vengeance was disappointing, like to the point of Acoustics. Like, oh, this is where like let's go, and then it's just like empty acoustics, soft, venerable theater environment where it's not like I can have like pulsing lights and stuff, and the lights that are shown from the stage at the angle at which I'm viewing them from my seat are blinding because they're going directly into my eyeballs, and like I had to do this for a good portion of the concert just so I could
like
see
holding
her,
your hand up to your
lights.
eyes. Yeah.
So yeah, acoustics like really killed it for songs where, like you say, Stephanie, you'd want to get up out of your seat. You couldn't because
for Vengeance, Casino.
Yeah, all those things. Yeah, she seemed really tired. Like by the time Casino came on, she seemed exhausted. So I think she felt
no
out
fault
of it.
her own.
The video, Eve, like that was in the promotion and the branding of the concert. It would have done so much better if it was just Bibi. Like the conversion rate for their advertisements had to be low because like who is Eve? And
Who's Eve?
Yeah, and
it's like they're promoting the album, not her concert, not Bibi.
Right, and like for international fans, just saying Bibi would have done. Your cost per click would have been like way lower. So
that's true, and you can't really tell that it's her in the cover. You have to.
Right.
Whose face is that? Who?
It almost looks like Kiana.
It looked like the Irene Silgi theme.
Oh yeah, totally.
And if you're gonna spend that much money on this concept, but then to abandon it like 3/4 of the way through, it's really bizarre to me.
It's like, okay, if you're gonna, exactly, you should just take it all the way home. We should see Bibi in that costume, in that character on stage. We should see her acting live. And weaving in and out of this movie. Like if this is the centerpiece, which it could be, then but take it to the conclusion.
Yeah, but committing to that concept and that experience is just beyond the budget.
Of
what they have.
Well, I don't actually agree because it would be like an attitude. It doesn't necessarily have to be like the staging or like, but I think it's like the attitude of how she would have.
Yeah.
Right. Like the way she
playing these parts.
Because I think like to your point, Peter, like earlier, she was very sexy Egyo, right? But she didn't have to be that way if she wanted to portray Eve. You know what I mean? And she could, because tonally, in terms of how she spoke to the audience and like the music, there was no difference from the Eve portion and the Bibi portion. So what I'm saying, so like, even if they didn't have the budget to like her costuming or whatever to make it obvious, like she could have done it in terms of how they did the show flow and how she participated, how she acted, like her demeanor, and that was not
missing.
Yeah, so that's what I mean, like about missed opportunities.
But I would still argue to execute that well and to make it abundantly obvious to the audience, it would still require a lot of like behind the scenes production resources to make each movement smoother and make each of the symbols and each of the different tonal shifts that much more obvious.
Oh, that's true.
I think it would just require more production than what they have the means and resourcing for. But on that note, I think what everyone wanted, instead of having Eve on the banner, they would have liked Bibi on the banner, and they would have liked a traditional Bibi performance. Just something where we just run through the hits, spend more time on the hits.
Stuff from the second album, please.
Skip the B-sides.
Yeah, we went through like all the B-sides of this current album, and that was not necessary for me.
Yeah.
It was a little... It did feel long. I did check the set list several times to be like, where are we in the set list?
Where are we? Yeah, I checked. Yeah, some of them are not. Some of them are meant more for at-home listening. Sorry.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Sorry, last note for me. Her dig at Dean was perfect.
She said, I'm still waiting on his album too.
That was funny, yeah.
I love that. That's what we are here for. We want those inside jokes that show that she gets us and we get her.
Yeah. I did like how she's saying, like, and I've got this album that I'm waiting, or the song with him that I'm waiting to get out. And then she played Burn It, which I love as a song.
It's great.
But
Yeah.
I think, like, again, going back to the audio experience, like, just the mix of everything. Like, her being sick, the missing the harmony, and, like, you know, her smooth, casual indifference in the way that she sings. Like, I just wasn't getting that
True.
in the live audio experience. And
there was not any of the songs performed where I preferred the live version than the studio version.
True.
I think you know, like, it's impossible to do, but the ideal setup would have been small hotel lobby jazz performance.
To do
like
that.
like, you know, when
Yes.
you're like really close and intimate
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
the singer,
And it's so clear and
yeah,
that's true.
and there needs to be like cigarette smoke too. And it needs to
No,
be
no,
dark,
then
like,
she can't sing well. She's already sick.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, like, you
The
know,
vibe,
and
right.
yeah, the vibe, yeah, and the environment, that would have been best. But that you can't put that, you can't create that at scale, and for this show to be profitable, you have to have venues as big as they did. Which, by the way, I was surprised that she managed to sell all the tickets. It looked like, you know,
Yeah,
when we
it was
bought
pretty
tickets,
full.
Yeah, it
empty,
was pretty
but-
great.
It's like, okay,
So there's people who are interested, but
definitely there's demand.
So it must be, I wonder how much of this is because the concert I just went to prior to Bibi was the Taber Miso Rad Museum concert.
Oh, yes.
And that had garbage sound.
Oh,
That the bass was up so high that it vibrated my earplug out of my eye. Out of my ears. Like,
wow, that bad. It just went out.
right, like,
It went in
I
your
am now blind. But yeah, like I couldn't breathe. That's how high the bass was
Whoa.
turned up, right? And it was
what
actually
venue was that?
it was the Great American Music Hall in like the Tenderloin.
San Francisco,
And
yeah.
yeah, and it the capacity is like 450, but they closed off the whole top balcony, and max there was 150 people in that audience,
Ouch.
including wait staff, right? And like I've complained about this to Stephanie before, so like she knows it, but like I don't think they made any money on that, and the bass was so loud for all of Rad Museum set and like the first part of Taber's set that we couldn't even hear them sing, and so I think that was my last live music experience. So then to go to Bibi, I was like, this is great. I can hear her. So I wonder
You
how
can
much
hear her
of that.
voice, yeah.
Yeah, I wonder how much of that. Or maybe I just am not very picky about sound, except when the sound waves are literally changing my body. So, but yeah, now that you have pointed it out, I was like, oh yeah, you're right. There was something missing. But at the time of the experience, I thought it was very enjoyable for me.
I don't know. I do like, I DJ at all these like nightclubs and these different venues, and I've seen the best and the worst of like PA audio engineers. And like sometimes these audio engineers are absolutely deaf. Like I'm like, do you not realize that this line right here is way too loud? My theory with your concert, Virginia, was probably less the audio engineers and more the performers themselves, and them being on stage like, no, we need to make this bigger. I need to hear the bass more from upstage, and not realizing that from
wonder.
below the stage it sounds very different.
But they couldn't hear though. Like
They couldn't hear themselves.
like-
Their monitors weren't good.
like Taber missed his cue for the opening song. They had to
Ouch.
restart the song, just like that happened at Bibi's, right? Like
Yeah, that's true. That happened. Yeah.
like he missed the cue entirely.
What is going on?
And that he opened with I know this is a BB concert,
That's
but like
fine, yeah.
but he opened with 007, which is arguably
you
his
gotta-
best
yeah.
fucking song, but he couldn't even sing it. He made the audience sing the majority of it, and you know that hook, not the hook, the hook, no, not the hook, the bridge. He
the bridge.
da, 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 that part, right? Like twice, right? The first time he made the crowd sing it. I did not pay $40 plus tax, like to like hear the fucking crowd sing this, you know?
Oh, no.
But and it's because I don't think he could hear, so I don't know if it was actually them.
Okay, so just really
huge
shitty.
miss.
It was bad.
Okay, yeah.
It was bad.
Okay.
Feel free to cut that entire part. Like it was totally off topic.
No, yeah. These concerts do not take place in a vacuum. We're here in the Bay Area. Artists are coming who are not from the big labels, and comparisons can be made for sure.
Yeah. Speaking of comparisons, is there like an artist of this like tier of this category that you think has done it really well?
For folks in this tier.
Like, you mean like the Rose, or is the Rose a different tier?
Yeah, I would put the Rose there. Yeah, sure. I haven't seen the Rose live, but
I haven't seen the Rose live in a long time. So I didn't see the recent one. Eric Nam, maybe?
How did that? You seen
Eric Nam's great. Eric Nam is amazing in concert. Very well run, very tightly run. Yeah. Sounds good. I mean, of course, I don't know how it is like in the balconies, because I usually I like him a lot, so I will pay more and I will go early, and then so I've usually been like 3 people back. Epic High, I guess, is that? No, Epic High is way more famous.
I saw someone with Epic High Light 6 in the audience. By the way.
Because
really?
I should have brought mine.
Yeah. So thank you all for the review, the recap, the discussion about Bibi's Eve concert tour in Oakland. Let's wrap up by letting our listeners know where they can find us on the socials. I know, Virginia, you've got some fun stuff dropping soon, right? I mean, you have some reviews of concerts, right, that we can read from you?
Oh, right. So one day when I finish writing this review for the Bibi concert, you can read it at Mochi Magazine.
Mochi Magazine. Okay.
But you can find me on most socials at the Mandarin Mama, and yeah, just follow me there. Oh, I also co-host a podcast called The Brazen Asian, so where we try to broaden what it means to be Asian American, and so occasionally we talk about K-pop and stuff.
What does it mean to be Asian American, Virginia?
Oh gosh,
it means so many things. That's why we're trying to broaden it beyond the like narrow scope that we have so far.
All right, you can find me on Instagram at Catchlight27.
I'm at DJ Peter Lowe, and I've also been living my best life on like LinkedIn, like the old person social media lately.
LinkedIn.
Doing like AI content creation stuff. So yeah.
Pretty exciting. It's hot right now.
It is.
All right. And if you want to chat with all of us, make sure to join the Kpopcast Slack. And if you want to support the show, consider donating to our Ko-fi, please. Shout out to Chelsea H for your donation. Links to all of that in the episode description. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.